Enjoy the tranquil weather now because this weekend we will be missing it. We have a couple of rounds of storms coming in, and it is springtime in Texas, so there could be severe weather involved. Let's get right into it here. First, I want to show you the satellite view, this visible satellite showing us the clouds above us. And there are a couple of things you can see. You can see the upper levels, that southwest flow bringing in that Pacific moisture, the upper levels, and at the lower levels, plenty of that Gulf moisture moving in. So you can kind of see those different moving clouds there just through this one satellite view. This shows you we are setting up for storms in our area. Temperatures today are right around normal, 80 to 81 degrees with our normal high of 79. And then overnight, another warmer than normal evening with temperatures in the 60s and normal of 58. So we are on the warmer side, but as I mentioned yesterday, the humidity in those clouds will help us hold in some of that daytime heating. Around the mid-range is our pollen count here, our allergy forecast, and it's spring in Texas, so we've learned to live with that, but we'll take medium over high any day because I'm sure high will be back next week. Now, I want to show you the water vapor because you can see our next storm right here in the desert southwest. It's right on cue. That will eject northeastward and bring our chance of storms tonight. We will see those storms fire in the panhandle and move eastward overnight and arrive just in time for drive time tomorrow, taking the kids off to school, getting to work, all those good kind of things. Might be a little bit of rain with your cup of coffee in the morning. And as we go into the severe weather, this is where I want to kind of talk detail. So I know I rushed through a lot of that, but here's where the meat of the conversation is. So this is the Storm Prediction Center view of where they expect the highest chance of severe weather to be. Of course, we're used to the marginal and slight and enhanced risk this time of year. We see these maps all over the place. So you notice that it goes from about Fort Worth down to Alvarado, south of Waxahachie, Corsicana, on up towards the Arklatex. So there are dueling models here, as there sometimes are. The high resolution and NAM models are short-term ones there. They're kind of debating over where these storms are going to be, but really the consensus is that the best chance of storms will be from our area on to the northeast. So that's where the Storm Prediction Center has put that slight risk. To tell you the truth, I'm not really sure that a slight risk is guaranteed or is required, I would say, for our particular area, but I think they're really just showing the confidence in seeing some strong to severe storms. The good news about Friday morning is not only will those storms be weakening, but they'll be in an environment where it's not quite as warm, but that will change Friday afternoon. That's where the question comes in. Really two questions that I'll be watching. One, how much of our area will be worked over by that morning convection? And then how far east or maybe how far west will those storms be firing up as this front moves eastward? Now getting into Saturday, different situation. And this will have my attention a little bit more because this will be in the heat of the day. This will be a classic spring setup. And I know that some of you do not like to hear that, but we'll take you play by play. This is the enhanced risk from about Mineral Wells there, Bridgeport there, Breckenridge, I believe I'm pointing at there. It's not on the map, and that's the general area, right? On up north into Oklahoma, and that is where the enhanced risk is here. And what we're going to be watching there is the supercell thunderstorms. That's these individual storms. It's not a solid line. Those individual thunderstorms that gives you that higher risk of large hail, possibly a few tornadoes. That's what we will be watching here, and we could have some of those storms in our area. We've seen it many times where that dry line sharpens, they develop around Brownwood, Brady, Hamilton there, and then they move on to the northeast into our area. I will be watching that. It looks like confidence is a little less farther south, but that map could easily change. As a matter of fact, I'm filming now, so it's just about time for the Storm Prediction Center to update those maps right about the time I'm posting this. So we'll see if there's updates to post this evening. We're in the slight risk. I think that we could easily see that map change. If not today, then probably tomorrow. And as we get closer to Saturday, I think the enhanced risk will be expanded. I think that we could be included in that. I don't know, we'll have to see what the SPC does. I don't work at that desk, so we'll see what they have in mind. But I will say that I am concerned about two rounds of storms on Saturday. One could be the supercell thunderstorms, these individual storms. And then I think we have a much higher chance of seeing the squall line come in later. That's that solid line of storms, much higher wind risk. Could be some small hail involved in that. Not usually the really big hail involved there, but there could be some isolated tornadoes as well right along the beginning of that line. So the moral of the story, Saturday afternoon, evening, I think the afternoon, 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock is when we'll have to watch for those supercell thunderstorms. And then after, 9, 10, 11 o'clock, I think is when we'll probably start seeing that squall line move towards our area. So let's try to time this out, at least time out Friday. The time is a little bit more nebulous for Saturday, but we'll get into that too. 3 a.m. Friday from Wichita Falls down towards Abilene, we should see that storm line coming through. And then 5 a.m. we'll start to see that move into North Texas here. And there's some discrepancies as far as how far southwest this goes. HR doesn't think they will see much there, but the NAM definitely does. Now here's the thing, and this is really interesting to me, is you see the line almost collapse north of Stephenville here, but you see new development. And this, again, this is a weather model. This is not saying it's going to be exactly in this place at exactly this time, but it does indicate we could see a recycle of that line sometime in the morning, because by 11 a.m. here, you see that we are getting a much more solid line. And as that pushes through, I'll tell you, there's a frame that's getting skipped over here. There's a 9 a.m. frame that shows a very solid, strong line of storms right through our area. But by 11 o'clock, most of it's moving through our area here, really into the eastern parts of the area. And then by 1 o'clock, most of that should be moved east. Now, 1 o'clock, we start warming up. We start getting into the heat of the day. The NAM model, I'm not sure how accurate this is. From Waco down to Leander there, down towards Austin, a new line of storms. I think this will be further east by that point. But the main thing is that by Friday afternoon, we could see more storms developing, and then that will be moving into Saturday, which is going to be more of an afternoon evening thing. But on Friday, I'm not sure how far east we will see those storms develop. Could be along I-45, could be east of there. My gut says further east, but we will have to watch the timing on that. So I'll be bringing updates there. Let's put all of this together in the 7-day forecast. 80 degrees today. It will be breezy out there. I'm sure you're all already feeling that. Friday, morning storms, and then we'll be watching to see what happens in the afternoon. It really does look like that will be east of our area, but I will be keeping an eye on that. If nothing else, I think storms probably start to pop along 45, but then they quickly move out of here. So I'm not really too concerned about those storms. I don't think they're terribly mature or organized by then. Saturday's the day, I've got that little indicator there. Saturday's the day I'm watching. That will be the day when I am here in the office consistently working hard. 83 degrees, breezy south winds, plenty of that Gulf moisture. We will have plenty of time for the atmosphere to reset. So if you're wondering if Friday's convection might make Saturday's air a little bit more stable, it'll have plenty of time to reset for Saturday storms. Getting into Sunday here, I think by Sunday morning, everything's out of here. I'm not really concerned about storms Sunday, so a relatively clear day. Southerly winds continue though. This isn't going to bring us any cool air, unfortunately. 81 for Sunday, and the next week, getting into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're in the mid-80s here. We're warming up, east winds come in, and we do have a couple of chances of rain. Not a whole lot of confidence or information on this yet. It doesn't look like a major situation either way. Looking at Wednesday though, that forecast could turn into some widespread rain as we get closer, but we got to wait and see what happens there. So stay tuned. More updates to come on the storms expected early tomorrow morning. We'll have to wait and see what Friday afternoon looks like. Again, not thinking that we really have to deal with much, but Saturday afternoon and evening, that I think is where we might have our better chances of severe weather. So more updates are to come. So stay tuned as we track more spring storms across north central Texas.